What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, this is another vid that I'm going to go ahead and produce for this Saturday, and actually this will be the last of the couple of vids that I intend to upload this time around. Right, and mainly because I'm pretty excited for the Prepare to Die edition to come out. Now, this particular series is just, and actually is rather short. It's probably the shortest video I've done, perhaps in about 2 or 3 months, right? But, you know, all the while is a series of matches between myself and good old Oxycontin, right? Oxycontin Prescription. I mean, that dude has a pretty interesting name, right? Or RX, right? We all know that RX means prescription. So, he has a pretty decent build. He's basically using a pyromancer slash great sword, right? And I'm talking about the ultra great sword, the one that is used by good old Tarkus. And actually, I've never really seen anyone use that combination before, right? Usually people just kind of keep the strength weapons with other strength items, right? But rarely have I seen anyone use a strength weapon and pair it off with, I mean, you might want to consider dexterity, mainly because the more dexterity that you have, the faster the cast, right? So yeah, this is a pretty good series. And actually I end up conceding right, because one thing about these pyromancers, once they get to the point of not really using the weapon and they just keep casting, I mean, you can't really do anything about it. You can't get close to them. You basically are screwed, right? And this is why the pyromancers are probably one of the most dangerous caster builds out there. Now, I know some of you guys may be familiar with, you know, the pure mages. Some of you guys are obviously familiar with the faith builds, because, I mean, everyone out there, I'll say probably about 80% of the community are either katana users or katana slash faith builds, right, wherein they are using a buff and the wrath of the gods. But out of all of those, as I've explained in the past, I really think that the pyromancers are the most dangerous, right? Because, and actually I don't even really know if I want to call it a pyromancer in this particular case, because he's not really throwing any fireballs. Not that I can remember. He doesn't throw out any fire tempest or anything. He basically, as they explained to me, kind of keep it with the great combustions and a little bit of fire surge. Right, so he utilizes his reach from the Ultra Great Sword, and he kind of, in the event that he needs to keep you off, he'll use the Fire Surge, and in the event that you just so happen to get too close, he'll back you off with the Great Combustion. Right, so, I mean, it's pretty good. I've never really thought about, you guys see all those Great Combustions? I mean, you can't even get close to that guy. What can you do? Especially saying that I am not using one of my caster builds, right? Now, since I'm on the subject of casting and pyromancies, I just recently did a video on Great Magic Barrier, and I've had a few guys bring into question pyromancies, right? Well, even though, you know, I may upload it at a later time, I didn't just put the information together for this particular video, but I did test it. And Great Magic Barrier does nothing against pyromancies, right? But all hope is not gone. One thing that most of you guys need to remember, you know, and is easy to forget, I mean, myself included, is that they have a particular pyromancy that does protect against the flames, right? And I don't know, I forget what it's called. It's kind of like, I don't know, but it kind of soaks you in water. And I think, you know, if I'm not mistaken, it protects against 45% of the castings. Right, which is definitely a good bonus, because I know one thing, those great combustions, for example, can in some cases hit above 450. Alright, so 45% of that would bring you somewhere around the 225, 230, 240 mark, which is good. Now, with regard to that great combustion video, there were some other guys that kind of asked me to test the whole deal about, divine / occult effects on dark wraiths and spirits of vengeance. And apparently there's some information out there that says that, I guess divine is supposed to do more damage against either a dark wraith, or occult is supposed to do more damage against a spirit of vengeance. And actually I tested that too. Right, and the results are, there's really no difference. Now, I used 50 faith along with divine and occult weapons. And with 50 faith, I tested a dark wraith, and I also tested a spirit of vengeance. The difference was only 2. Right, it was only a difference in 2 damage, which is not significant enough to make a difference between either. Now, the occult / divine weapons may bring you more of a difference in PvE, right? And that I did not test, mainly because I'm not into PvE. Right, so if any of you guys are kind of interested in PvE, you can go ahead and don your occult / divine weapons and run a test for yourself. But here in the brigade, we only focused on PvP. Right, so that was the only thing that I tested. Now, with regard to the human subjects, I did not invade as a dark wraith or a spirit of vengeance and attack a human subject, because in most cases you're faced against dark wraiths, right? And the way I looked at it, if there was little to no difference between the damage of occult / divine when you attack a dark wraith, nor is there much of a difference when you attack a spirit of vengeance, I had reason to believe that it might not be that much difference with regard to so-called few human forms. Right, so yeah, that should address some of the additional questions that I had in that particular video. Now, if you notice, I can't really do anything with this guy, right? Not because, I'm stuck, not because I don't really know what to do, but he's really using more pyromancy than he is with the greatsword, and for good reason. Because if you notice, in a lot of the previous times that he used that ultra greatsword, I parried him, right? And this is really what happens to me in a lot of cases, and it actually backfires. Not only did it backfire, there he goes, those great combustions. Not only did it backfire to me, but I'm pretty sure that it backfires to other people in similar situations, right? And this is one of the disadvantages of being a, I'll say, okay parrier. See that? See? And this is why he starts to get to the point where he's using less ultra greatsword and more of the pyromancy. Did you see that? Because he knows that if he keeps swinging that, I'm going to eventually parry it, right? And another thing, is kind of hard for me to follow the flips, right? See, he's trying to hit me hard with those great combustions. Then there's effective, right? Now, see that? Every time he does that, I catch him every time. And I think this is why he kind of went to the point of just hitting off with more combustions than anything. Right, but it's all good. Now, one thing that I need to keep in mind is, in the future, I probably need to make more use of that water. See that? He's hitting me off in the corner. With that water pyromancy. And I forget what it's called. I mean, I know I'll probably use it once or twice. And that was pretty much when I was new to the game, but pretty much after that I never really did anything with it. But the more that I run into these pyromancies, this probably would be a good thing for me to go ahead and just start experimenting with it, you know, to see how much of a benefit it would be in actual PvP. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it. This is the last match of this relatively short video, right? Relatively meaning most of my videos are at least 20 minutes. But, you know, good old OxycontinRX, or, you know, prescription guy, I basically told him, look dude, I concede. I mean, I can't do anything with those great combustions. You're kind of torturing me all the time with it, right? So good games. Right, so I'd like to give a thanks to good old Oxycontin here. Thanks for putting forth a good display of his ultra great sword slash pyromancy build. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week with the release of the Prepare to Die edition. I'll be looking forward to catching up with a lot of you guys. Martyrs Brigade is